Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Is it morning time? I don't even know anymore. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Good morning. Welcome to J is for Justice. We are gathering today for Rex Heuermann's fourth charge. We're going to read a little bit about that while we wait for this to begin, because we haven't begun yet. And I think they're supposed to be doing it on Instagram, which is kind of weird. But I guess that's where I'm watching the Facebook and I'm watching his Instagram. And nothing yet. So Rex Heuermann's hearing started at 9:30. Good morning, everybody. This is a reminder to put your chat on live chat. I always have to remind myself to do that. But his hearing started at 9:30. So here we are. It's 10:35 and they haven't come out yet. So this hearing is obviously still going on. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about what to expect and what this is going to entail. So we have Rex Heuermann due back in court today, where he is expected to be formally charged with the murder of a fourth victim. The 60-year-old Manhattan architect will appear in Suffolk County Courthouse at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And this is a hearing that came weeks before he was scheduled to return to court. So they convened a special grand jury and they decided to charge him with this. So we do know that the suspect is being charged with the murder of Maureen Brainerd Barnes. And he was already charged with the murders of Megan Waterman, Amber Costello, and Melissa Bartholomew. And together with Maureen, they are known as the Gilgo Four. So that is where the Gilgo Four comes from. And we are waiting. Babs Forever, thank you for being here, honey. She says, you have the best ever lives. Thank you so much. Yes, Murdoch Mr. Murdoch is back in court as well. I was kind of watching that a little bit, but I don't want to get too enthralled because I'm actually not covering Murdaugh. I didn't cover it the first time, and unless something major happens, I have plenty of trials on my plate. So as much as I would like to cover Murdaugh, there's going to be a 3-day hearing this week for him. So following today, I believe there's a 3-day evidentiary hearing. So even though I'm not streaming it and I'm not doing that, I am still watching it. So I do pay attention to everything that I can. But like I said, we're just waiting for them to decide to come out of the courthouse and tell us what's going on. If you guys see it pop up anywhere else, let me know. But I am on the District Attorney Ray Tierney. And you can see here it says live press conference. It was scheduled for 10 a.m. So they're running behind. So Alex Murdaugh is having a 3-day evidentiary hearing to see if he's going to get a new trial. There's so many hearings going on. So we had Tracy Ferriter was in. Let's see if we can find an update on her yet. Because she was in court. Tracy Ferriter, the mom in a box. We had dad in a box. Now we have mom in a box. But she was in court this morning with her new attorney. She's a piece of work. Let's see if we can find something. The only thing I can find is Court TV 21 hours ago stating that she's going to be in court. We can watch that. Let's see what they say.
Telling me that you would go back and review all 21,000 videos yourself?
Someone in my office or myself, yeah.
Well, then she needs to get another attorney because I'm not going to push this case out more than 60 days. I'm going to grant the motion in part to continue the case for 60 days. Give me a trial date now because it's going to go on the docket. And if you're not going to continue with your appearance, then I'll want to know after I set the date. And then I'll provide additional time for Ms. Ferriter to find an attorney who can work within the schedule that the court's going to impose in this matter.
Judge, I didn't finish my argument, but if you don't want me to finish.
No, you don't need to finish it.
And I'm stating in 35 years experience, I don't believe any lawyer can be competent in the court's time that you're giving us. So based on that, I'd like to move to withdraw then, Judge. I cannot do this.
So this was her previous attorney. He's like, I can't do this. He withdrew. What? It's like, what? So apparently she got a new lawyer. I'm just checking over here, just to make sure we don't miss it. So she's got a new lawyer that she appeared in court with today, but there's no update quite yet. So this is actually from yesterday on Court TV.
So I'm going to allow you to withdraw because I'm not going to force you to do something you don't think you can do, but I reject your argument that no lawyer could be prepared for this case in 3 months.
That was Tracy Ferriter's attorney, back and forth with the judge, out of the case. Who is Tracy Ferriter? She's the mother of the teenage boy who was locked in that box in the garage. 8x8 box with a camera, a mattress, and a bucket. Now, her husband, Timothy Ferriter, has already been convicted. He's locked up.
Okay.
Not doing well, by the way.
No.
Trying to get out on bond pending.
He's not doing well. So there's the latest update in Timmy as well. So Timmy, with all his nerves, Timmy's like, I don't want to go to state prison. I'm appealing and I want to stay in county prison while I wait for my appeal. And the judge and they were like, too bad. So he's being sent to state prison. So he's not a happy camper. Welcome, everybody who is just joining. We are still waiting for the Rex Heuermann hearing to begin.
He's not faring well behind bars, trust me. But he's locked up in a box himself. It's called jail. It's called prison. So
the big house, the clinker.
What's the case against Tracy? What is some of the evidence? Well, during the course of his trial, we heard and saw some things related to Tracy Ferriter as well. So let's take a listen to Tracy Ferriter here getting into an argument or yelling at the victim, her son in this case, her adopted son. And then we'll take a listen to the victim himself talk about some of his own bad behavior. Let's watch.
What do you need? Do you have pajamas? Are those them right there? Do you hear me?
Lex.
Oh, here we go. Back to this where you can't talk. You're a middle school boy. You want to do all these things. You want to do chess. You want to do things. But you can't talk because you got caught being dishonest. Okay. Well, that's fine. Guess I'll just keep giving you more chances. Every day, it's a new chance for even though doesn't care, he doesn't want to be nice to anyone. Oh, let's let do this. Oh, let's let me bring some food because I think he's gonna have a good night. Oh, let me do everything for okay. Oh, can't talk because he got in trouble because he got caught. It's like, give me a break.
Okay, so Kendi asked earlier, she's like, why are they not offering Tracy a plea deal? I think that she might have been worse than her husband. I think she might have been worse. They may have worse footage. Hello, Miss Robin. How I have missed you. I have missed you, my sister from the mitten. I'm thinking she might have been a little more raunchy. What do y'all think?
Start owning up to what you're doing, and then try to fix the problem, like we keep telling you.
You'd agree that when you were at their house, you would rip things and throw things?
Yes.
And I think in your words, you intentionally broke the rules you knew about at least 5 times a week?
Usually more, but yes.
Do you remember putting your finger and thumb and pushing up on a boy's throat and pushing him up against the wall at Immaculate Heart?
Yes.
And there was some instances of stealing at Immaculate Heart?
Yes.
You were mad at
Yes.
and you had pretended that a teacher told you that it was okay to, you went into classroom, right?
Yes.
And her teacher was Miss McCoy, if you remember?
Yes.
And you told Miss McCoy that you were allowed to make an announcement, right?
Yes.
And the announcement that you made was really derogatory towards your sister.
Yes.
And you went to his house, right?
Yes.
And you pretended to tutor her, or were you actually tutoring her?
I actually tutored her.
Yeah. And you stole her dad's credit card.
I stole I just memorized the numbers. That's it.
And then you used his credit card.
Ronan, he's
Yeah.
so
Do
smart.
you remember offering a beer?
He's too smart for his own good, this poor kid. All he needed was to be challenged.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was that so you could conduct an experiment?
Yes.
How old was at the time?
Was 4.
4?
Yeah.
It's fair to say a 4-year-old should not be drinking beer that could hurt them.
That was the point of the experiment.
Okay.
All right. So she was supposed to be in court this morning with new counsel. We'll find out what happens. We will find out what happens. Obviously, she might be a little more raunchy than her husband. They might have way more footage on her because Flo has a really good point. She was home all the time. She was home all the time. So here we are. Still no press conference. But I do have something that I found a couple weeks ago. I shared it in Discord a while ago. And I want to share it today since we have some time. This website called Murder Inc. has a lot of the Gilgo Beach information. They just recently posted this, and I was shooketh. This is the Reverend Kenneth Heuermann. This is Rex Heuermann's uncle, I believe. So this is him. And let's see what the caption says here. The Reverend Kenneth Heuermann stands in front of some of the trees slated to be cut down to widen Hinsdale Road. And it says, Murder, Inc. crack exclusive. Gilgo killer suspect Rex Heuermann's cousin. First cousin, Reverend Kenneth Heuermann, is a priest accused of leading a child abuse sex ring. What the hell? How deep does the Heuermann family tree go as far as this sexual deviance and disgusting behavior? This guy looks scary, doesn't he? He's big like Rex. Look at the size of this man's hands. Yikes, Ashley. They do have some strong genes. Yeah. So I'm just now hearing that they are recording this press conference and they're going to upload it. Why? I don't know. They've always done them live in the past. Because I was looking at Instagram. I don't know about Instagram. Can you go live on Instagram? I'm going to have to watch The Keepers. I've never seen that. Let's look him up. The Reverend Kenneth Heuermann. Let's see if we can find some more information. There was a lot of dirtiness going on in New York for so many years, it seems like. I agree, Sirius. They're terrifying. The Reverend Kenneth Heuermann. Oh, shit. Oh, guys, this isn't good. This is not good for the Heuermann family. Oh, my God. There's articles. 2019. What the fuck? All right, let me show you guys this. This is weird. There's articles, there's court documents. Hold on. Dude, this family freaks me out because think about Craig Heuermann, his brother that lives in North or South Carolina, wherever he was, where they retrieved his vehicle from. He's scary as hell. Scary as hell. Okay, hold up. Here we go. Kenneth Heuermann. Let's get rid of that picture. Okay. St. Michael's Lutheran Church named in sex abuse lawsuit. Thank you so much, Kendi. She said, stay warm, little seekers. Oh, boy. All right, let's watch. She filed a there's a woman who filed a lawsuit. $45 million lawsuit. Listen, we're going to have to listen to an ad first. Advert. Oh, I think it's starting. Hold on. Let's go back. We are starting. We'll cover this after the press conference. Let's get back to Long Island. We'll go over this after. I don't know where it's starting. I'm just getting word that it's starting on Instagram. Yes, here we go. Live. Oh, great coverage. All right, let's fix this. Why would they go live on Instagram, guys? Thank you, Meg P. My DoorDash fund. Yay. Thank you for feeding me and giving me Coke Zeros. Good morning, Chastity. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Katie K. All right, they're still prepping, it looks like. Let me go back to this article, and I'll just read it. I won't share it. I'll just read it. It says, a sex abuse lawsuit has been filed against St. Michael's Lutheran Church. The accuser's name is R.W. According to her, she was sexually abused and tortured by multiple men of the church. She says the nightmare started when she was 8 years old. There was a rehearsal for the Christmas pageants. My parents just dropped me off, and I was separated and molested by him in the basement. He told me, quote, it was our special secret. Why don't we have sound anymore? Hold on. It's still live. I think they just muted it. Okay, so we're still live. RW has filed a $45 million lawsuit against her abusers, St. Michael's Church, the evangelical, Lutheran Church in America, the upstate New York Synod. This comes following the New York Child Victims Act, which gives survivors a year to sue their alleged predators. In the 16-page complaint, RW names retired minister Kenneth Heuermann as the ringleader and says he threatened to kill her family. I was raped, sodomized, and was tied down, said RW. There was no army big enough to protect me from that monster. Heuermann has declined to comment on the lawsuit. The lawsuit names 2 other men in the church as having abused her until the age of 15. Edward Rising and Luther Meyer have since died. According to RW and her attorney, she reported the abuse for decades and no one did anything. This is a great opportunity and it's time to call out these men that hurt me, she said. They use those positions to manipulate and threaten these children, and their time is over. Since RW has shared her story, another victim came forward, claiming they too were sexually abused at St. Michael's. I still live with it every day. The Evangelical Church in America released the following statement. We have learned that St. Michael's Lutheran Church, the upstate New York Synod, and the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America has been named as defendants in a lawsuit that was filed alleging abuse in the 60s by a since-retired pastor and others. The lawsuit alleges the abuse occurred more than 20 years before the formation of the ELCA. The ELCA does not tolerate inappropriate sexual behavior or child abuse, and it is the practice of the ELCA to fully cooperate with law enforcement agencies investigating such conduct. We offer prayers, concern, and compassion. For anyone affected, including the plaintiff, her family, members of St. Michael's, and the accused and their families. And the accused and their families. Wow. Wow. Her courage. I agree, Cindy Powell. I agree. Kenneth Heuermann. Did he go to court? What's the status of this? This was in 2019. Oh, here's St. Michael's trumpet. Their actual here, I got to show you this. What a joke. I don't know why, but I see through all this stuff now. And none of it looks legit to me anymore. It seems so sinister. Hold on. Here's their newsletter, the St. Michael's Trumpet. This is November 2019. As you can imagine, questions about the status of the lawsuit in which we find ourselves embroiled linger. And hardly a week goes by when someone asks me for an update. So here it is. Your congressional counsel has retained the services of a law firm. This means that we not worry about the minutia of managing the case. Everything that needs to be done will be handled by our law firm. We have identified and allocated the funds for our legal defense. But this unexpected expenditure highlights the need for all of us to be faithful and generous in our financial support of our ministry. The search continues for documentation of our insurance coverage. The issue is that the insurer who would provide coverage for this lawsuit would be the company who insured us during the period covered by the allegations in the suit. For as long as anyone can remember, the statutes of limitations meant that half-century-old records would have summarily been destroyed years ago. New York's new law abolishing those limits in cases of alleged sexual assault places us, along with many other entities, in the position of having to defend ourselves under new and unique circumstances, with no records which to file a claim with an insurer with whom we have no contractual records. Our law firm is pursuing this on our behalf. Too bad. Too bad. Meanwhile, our bishop felt it prudent to temporarily suspend our call process until some clarity could be achieved about the effect of the lawsuit might have on our ability to honor our compensation commitment to a called pastor. This is the bishop's responsibility, and I believe he acted prudently. After consulting with our synod's legal counsel and that of the ELCA, both of whom indicated that cases such as this might take years to resolve, our bishop concluded that we needed to move ahead with our call process, and he lifted the suspension within a matter of days. The short suspension of our process had no adverse effect on us, since no candidates inquired about us during its duration. So our process is once again up and running. I remain confident about our bishop's commitment to us, and that he is working diligently to seek out and identify candidates for pastoral call to St. Michael's. It is my hope and prayer that the Holy Spirit will produce a match in the near future. Meanwhile, my bags are not yet packed. I have no plans to leave St. Michael's until a new pastor is secured. Neither the bishop nor I have any way of knowing when a candidate may emerge. It may be in several months or it could be next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. Meanwhile, we continue to engage in ministry. Oh my God. And he goes on and on. Pastor Paul. Yeah. We're still waiting for this to start. This is kind of weird. This is from the Syracuse.com. Another thing about the lawsuit, and this is Kenneth Heuermann was the ringleader. She said the abuse was ritualistic in nature and often involved other men she did not know. Wow. The lawsuit identifies all three men of being pastors. Heuermann is 88 years old. St. Michael's. Oh, what? Look at this shit. This says it all, you guys. This says it all. Wow. Heuermann is 88 years old. St. Michael's held a 65th ordination anniversary for him on July 28th, 2019, according to a church bulletin. A man who answered the phone at Heuermann's residence declined to identify himself. When asked about the lawsuit, he responded, "I have no idea what you're talking about," and he hung up. Wow. And know what everybody posting here. was posting in 2019. Sounds like a load of horse shit to me, says somebody. Was that Rex? Can't wait for the victims of the politicians to come forward, they say in 2019. And then someone says Epstein dispatched himself. Yeah, so this is Rex Heuermann's cousin. Ken Heuermann. Dude. Unbelievable. None of these kids look happy. I'm just saying. Oh my God, it does. It does, Robin. It reminds me of that. And how creepy that she talked about the kids' plays. Oh, I know. And putting these kids on Facebook. Huge no-no. Huge no-no. What is wrong with people these days? I mean, in picture after picture of these kids. It's just, why don't churches know better, right? I mean, it's never ending. It is never ending. Who's Grandpa William? Rex's dad. Is that? Who's that? Is that their pastor? I agree, Flo. And neither should a daycare. And neither should a school without permission. Thank you, Flo. We're getting close to that goal. We're getting close to that goal. Yeah, there's just no reason. I mean, with all of the things that go on these days, why would they ever? And look at, they have their name, the Pickerings. Unbelievable. Shame on them. First communion with all their first names. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Oh, William H. That's the belt, right? WH. You did? I don't have my phone. Oh, yeah, I do. Robin. Oh, my gosh. I got a PayPal, too. Carrie, thank you for your PayPal. Robin, thank you for your PayPal. Or I mean your Cash App, Carrie. Robin, thank you so much. I love you too, and it's so good to see you. I'm glad to see ya. Hello, Potato. Good afternoon to you in Britain. Yeah, I don't like this at all. I don't like any of it. I don't like that Rex Heuermann's cousin was a priest here, and he was the leader of the sex ring at this church in Scanatelli's, New York. Here's their actual website. It looks like it was made on Word. It was made in Paint. If you're just joining, we are still waiting for this press conference to start. I'm going to refresh and see if there's any movement. What happened to it? Now it's gone. Now it's gone. What the is going on? Now it's just gone. Did they pause it? What the fuck? I guess it's paused. Paint used to be the shiz. Skinny Atlas. Scanny Atlas. Okay. Look at their clip art. Weird. Clip art in paint. Oh, hold on. It's freaking live somewhere else. No, it's not. No, it's not either. Am I missing something? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything right now. Not yet. But the weird thing is I can't even see the chat on this Instagram. Oh, Kendi coming in hot with an update. Thank you, Kendi. Maybe they made it private. Yeah, I'm not sure what they did. Thank you, Kendi. So we got Tracy Ferriter. June 10th, she has a hearing, and July 12th, they're going to start jury selection. Hold on. Let me see if I can't find this. Check this out.
It's been around since 1996. It's been,
Only place that has it. Let's rewind. It has begun. We've only just begun to watch. Okay, here we go. Let me get this out of here.
Breaking news, I'm Jasmine Anderson. Accused serial killer Rex Heuermann is now charged in the murder of a fourth victim found dead near Gilgo Beach. The Gilgo Task Force is giving an update on the investigation. Let's listen in.
Braving the cold, to coming out and attend the court conference today. Just before I say anything else, I just want to preface my remarks. At this stage, these are just allegations. We are going to we look forward to proving them in court. We're here to discuss the superseding indictment. The only change in that indictment is that we've charged the murder of Maureen Brainerd Barnes, which occurred in July of 2007, and that is included in the murder of the other three women, that being Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Wardeman, and Amber Costello. Before I discuss the indictment, I want to thank as always, I want to thank our task force partners Suffolk County Police Department, we have, among others, we have Acting Commissioner Rob Waring. This is Rob's first appearance. Now that he's acting commissioner, I know he's going to take a more active role in this case, which we welcome. We're also, Homicide Lieutenant Kevin Byer and his team is here as well. We thank them for their hard work. As always, my partner Errol Toulon in the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office, we thank them for their efforts. Errol is here with us. We have our New York State partners. We have Major Steve Udice and Captain Chris Casal. We want to thank them for their assistance. The FBI, part of the FBI team is here as well. We have supervising special agents Mike Lewis and Don Ansbacher. I want to thank them for their continued assistance in this case. I have my team, which I frequently forget to thank. I'll take the opportunity to thank them. Our chief investigator, Rich Zacharis, and his team, ADA's Larry Opizzo, Nick Santamartino, Andrew Lee, and Michelle Haddad. I want to thank them for their continued efforts in this case. Sure. It's a little far from my face, but in addition to those task force partners, we've also received assistance or receiving assistance from the United States Secret Service, which are helping us with the downloads of a lot of the smart devices, as well as Nassau County Police Department, Pat Ryder, as well as the Nassau County District Attorney's Office. Their assistance has been invaluable as well, so we want to thank them. And most importantly of all, I think I want to thank and acknowledge the victims' family members, many of them who are here. I want to thank them for their continued support and advocacy, not only for their family members, but for victims everywhere. And I think it's important that we keep in mind what this case is about. Maureen Brainerd Barnes was 25 years of age when she lost her life. Melissa Bartholomew was 24. Megan Wardeman was 22, and Amber Costello was 27. This is what this case is about. This is what this case should be about. And I'll confine my remarks about Maureen, but we could say the same thing about the other three women. Maureen was, she was an intellectual. She was a writer. She was an artistic person. She cared very deeply about the people that she loved. She fiercely protected them. She was a devoted sister, devoted mother, devoted
Gloria.
daughter.
She looks like Gloria.
She's sorely missed by those that loved her. And, I know I speak for the entire task force when I say it's been an honor and a privilege to work these cases and to provide that, small measure of closure for the family members. And again, these are just allegations, and we'll continue to work the case. We look forward to proving the allegations in court. But again, this case is about those victims. So I just ask that we all keep that in mind. As I've said, we've charged the murder of Maureen Brainerd Barnes to add to the already charged murders of Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. The defendant is charged with murder in the second degree, not murder in the first degree, because for murder in the first degree, you have to commit 3 murders within a 24-month period, and the numbers just don't work out. Maureen was murdered in July of 2009. July of 2007. Melissa was murdered in July of 2009. Megan, June of 2010, and Amber in September of 2010. So that just the numbers didn't work out for murder in the first degree as to the Brainerd Barnes murder. So this indictment marks a change in the investigation. The grand jury investigation of the so-called Gilgo 4 is over. It has been concluded. And we will proceed with those cases in court. And again, we look forward to proving the allegations. But there should be no mistake. The work of the grand jury is continuing. Now we've talked about the transition from the grand jury to the prosecution. Well, with regard to those other bodies and those other murders, the grand jury, the task force will continue to investigate those cases. They'll be investigated through the grand jury, and when it is appropriate, And if we have anything to say, we will say it at that time. But we're going to let that investigation play out. Before I turn it over for questions, I'll just talk about the bail letter. The bail letter discloses some further information on the case. Obviously, it's not all of the evidence in the case, but it does disclose some. So I'll synopsize that and open it up for questions at the end. With regard to the first part of the bail letter, it indicates that the task force has established that the defendant's family was out of state during Maureen Brainerd Barnes' murder, just as they were out of state during the murder of the other 3 victims. The family had checked into a hotel in Atlantic City in July 6th of 2007, and they remained there till approximately July 20th of 2007. And both the documentary evidence as well as witness statements have indicated that during the time of Maureen Brainerd Barnes' disappearance in on or about July 9th of 2007, Heuermann was not with his family. He joined them sometime thereafter. We also recovered 2 burner phones from the defendant at the time of his arrest. The phone ending in 1697 was recovered from his office, and the phone 2671 was recovered from his person. With regard to the phone ending in 1697, again, we see the same repetitive activity on that phone. It was used to contact numerous sex workers. We also were able to use it to identify an alias, Andrew Roberts, which was a known alias being used by the defendant. We were also able to recover a fraudulent email account, which is sandbagger303 at gmail.com. The Sandbagger email address was used similar to the T-Hawk fraudulent account. The T-Hawk was used after Sandbagger, but the Sandbagger account was used once again to search for torture porn and info on the Gilgo case, on the Gilgo investigation, and victims' families. The defendant was particularly interested in the cellular telephone technology being not only used by the FBI, but specifically by the FBI in this case. We also recovered numerous electronic devices from the defendant, including a number of laptops, smartphones, tablets.
He just said 2.
From that, we learned that the defendant undertook numerous searches for software that could assist in erasing or wiping data from computer and digital devices such as Easy Hide IP and Shredder X. He used those 2 applications to destroy evidence in this case. We see that he continued to make prostitution-related searches before, during, and after the disappearance and murder of the 4 victims in this case. Notably, on one laptop that was recovered from the house, there was an attempt to shred evidence shortly before the defendant met with and murdered Melissa Barthelemy. Another laptop recovered in the house accessed Amber Costello's Backpage ad on September 1st, 2010 at approximately 9:03 p.m., and that is just hours before the ruse occurred around midnight on September 2nd. So the way the timeline works is on 9:03, that laptop that was recovered from the defendant's house was used to access Amber Costello's Backpage ad. Thereafter, at about 11:33, the burner phone that was used to kill Amber Costello contacted Amber Costello's phone from Massapequa Park, and later at 12:05, that same phone accessed that Amber Costello's phone, but this time the phone had moved from the Massapequa Park area to the West Babylon area where Amber Costello lived, and then back to Massapequa Park. That is significant evidence as well. I think the biggest change is the DNA evidence, and we've received significant DNA evidence between the time of the first arraignment and this time, which I'll synopsize for you. At this time, we've always spoken, right from the very beginning, we spoke about the 5 hairs of significance that were recovered from 3 of the 4 burial sites of the women. So I'll just go through that. We earlier reported on mitochondrial DNA evidence as to 3 of those hairs. We now have nuclear DNA results for all 5 of the hairs. So I'll go through it. The first, the most significant hair for the purposes of the superseding indictment was the the hair that was found on Brainerd Barnes, it was found on the buckle of the belt that secured her lower body. And we also found three hairs at the site of Megan Waterman's burial. We found 2 female hairs and 1 male hair. The male hair was found at the bottom of the burlap that Megan Waterman was wrapped in, and the 2 female hairs were found around the head area, one at the top of the burlap and one near the tape that was used to restrain Megan Waterman's head. The 5th hair was a female hair that was found in the area of Amber Costello's head. Now, at the time of the original arraignment, we reported on mitochondrial DNA results for 3 of those hairs. With regard to the Megan Waterman hair that was found outside the head area, it was consistent with the genetic profile of both Asa, the mitochondrial DNA profile of both Asa and Victoria Heuermann, and you could exclude the rest of the population to 99.69% of the rest of the population. With regard to the 1 male hair of significance that was found on the burlap with Megan Waterman, again, that genetic result was consistent with the defendants, and 99.96% of the population could be excluded. And then finally, we had the mitochondrial results with regard to the female hair found at the Costello burial site, and that was consistent with the genetic profiles of both Asa and Victoria Heuermann, and that was to an exclusion of 99.98% of the rest of the population. And if you remember the science of mitochondrial DNA, unlike nuclear DNA, you inherit that solely from your mother. So a mother and a child will have identical mitochondrial DNA profiles. So that is the mitochondrial results. We now have nuclear DNA profiles on all 5 of the questioned hairs, and we use this using the SNP or SNP process. And with regard to the hair found on Maureen Brainerd Barnes on that belt buckle, it was 7.9 trillion times more likely to have come from someone with the identical genetic profile as Asa Ellerup. With regard to the first hair that we got the mitochondrial DNA profile on, the female hair on Megan Waterman, that is 2.374 times 10 to the 48th power as likely to have come from someone matching the genetic profile of Asa Ellerup. And the way that number is expressed, that's scientific expression, I'm told. So that's basically 2.374, and you add 48 zeros to that. So that's a number so large it doesn't even exist. A name for it doesn't even exist. With regard to the second hair that was found on the tape by the head of Megan Waterman, that was also consistent with a person with the same genetic profile as Asa Ellerup, and that was 2.778 times 10 to the 488th power could exclude the rest of the population. With regard to the male hair, that was we received the mitochondrial DNA profile with regard to that. The nuclear DNA profile on that was 1.48 times 10 to the 169th power as to come from someone sharing the same genetic profile as the defendant. And finally, with regard to Amber Costello, we received the nuclear DNA profile on that, and that was 4.654 times 10 to the 63rd power as likely to have come from someone with the same genetic profile as his daughter, Victoria Heuermann. So again, the mitochondrial DNA for mother and daughter are going to be the same. Nuclear are going to be separate. Everyone has a separate nuclear DNA profile except for identical twins. We believe these DNA results are significant. Nuclear DNA, as illustrated, is much more discriminate, and the SNP technology that was utilized allows you to get nuclear DNA results from hair. This is, cutting edge. We talked earlier, and the questions were asked with regard to mitochondrial DNA, and is mitochondrial DNA analysis cutting edge? Not really. It's been around since 1996. It's been, used in courts in the United States since about 1996, I think. This SNP process is cutting edge. There are a couple of cases around the country where it's being used, but no finished cases, I believe. But it is scientifically accepted in both the medical and forensic community. It's used in the familial DNA context, so the science is certainly extremely solid. And the good thing about it is it's allowed us to differentiate between those Victoria Heuermann and Asa Ellerup hairs. So that's important. So that's basically the bail letter. I'll open it up to questions, but I just want to end with, we said at the very beginning that we were going to take a comprehensive look at the Gilgo 4 cases. I think we've done that. We've completed that. We used the grand jury process. Now we move to the second phase. The second phase being the prosecution of these 4 cases, as well as continuing to use the grand jury to investigate the other cases, the other bodies, and the other murders, which we think are investigatively significant. And we're certainly going to do that. We're going to use the same methodology. We're going to use the grand jury. And if we come to a result in the time, and when the time is appropriate, we'll have further comment on that. So that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, regarding the ongoing investigation, how many recovered bodies, other victims, are part of that investigation?
So we're not going to talk about it because we're going to wait until we're able, we'll talk about that in court. But suffice to say that it will be a comprehensive investigation with regard to a number of the bodies. So I think later the families will be speaking. They have an attorney that they're going to be speaking, and they're going to be.
She is their lawyer.
Not to cut you off. Yeah, right after this. Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I cut you off. No, go ahead.
So you mentioned that the Secret Service helped you guys out with the devices, downloading
Yeah.
and finding out about what data has been destroyed. Who's helping out with the DNA? Like, why was there a second rollout?
So we use, of course, our excellent Suffolk County Crime Lab has helped us with DNA analysis. We've also utilized 2 outside forensic labs. We haven't disclosed those names just because we want them to do their work. We've disclosed some of those reports, so the defense is aware of the names of those 2. We just haven't disclosed it, and their work continues.
When the grand jury that you were talking about, the investigation of the Gilgo 4 that has ended, is this same grand jury now going to be investigating the remainder of the murders?
Yes, the grand jury investigation with regard to Gilgo continues, yes.
And it's the same
Yes.
grand jury? Would Melissa Can, because she's right here now, like to say...
Well, I think there are going to be a couple of words spoken by the members of the family after we're done with ours. Right here.
Can you put into context in layman's terms the DNA and how and why it's significant in the case against Mrs. Heuermann?
So I think with regard to the DNA, first you have what we had previously was mitochondrial DNA. There are, and heretofore, mitochondrial DNA was really the only DNA you could use to get DNA, to extract DNA from hair. So that's good about mitochondrial DNA. The numbers are big, but not as big as with nuclear DNA. And because you inherit your genetic profile from your mother, there are a lot of people walking around with identical mitochondrial genetic profiles. And there are not as many base pairs with mitochondrial DNA. I think there's like 12,500, a little bit more base pairs in mitochondrial DNA. There's 3 billion base pairs with nuclear DNA. So nuclear DNA is like sort of the gold standard. If you could get to nuclear DNA, the numbers are going to be much larger. So you want to get to nuclear DNA because other than the numbers are high, and other than identical twins, everyone's DNA profile is different.
The 10 sets of remains, we've already identified 4 of them being found between the years 2007 and 2010. Can you share with us the years that you believe the other bodies were buried?
No.
Heuermann's attorney says nuclear DNA came out of nowhere. He, up until now, didn't believe there was any. This is obviously, as you said, more certain as far as the case how confident are you in the case, and what you have to say by the end moving forward?
Sure. I think that nuclear DNA existed in the hair since they were first recovered in 2010, and now the science has caught up. I would say that's a good break for justice, a good break for the investigation. Others might disagree, but the fact that we were able to utilize technology to obtain a nuclear DNA result that we are confident in and that we are confident in defending in court and making admissible, these are all good things.
What took so long with Maureen Brainerd Barnes? I mean, the other ones were due in July, the three. What took so long to see her circumstances specifically, especially because she did have hair allegedly on the belt?
So we spoke about the need for investigative secrecy, and as we were working through, and at the time we thought it was necessary to take the case down, we had completed 3 out of the 4 investigations, with Maureen Brainerd Barnes being the 4th that we did not complete. One of the main reasons why we didn't complete the Maureen Brainerd Barnes investigation is because we knew we had this hair, and we were awaiting, among other things, we were awaiting the result of that nuclear DNA result, which didn't occur at the time of the original takedown. So that was the main reason.
Can you just speak to what this moment means for the task force for the family who's charged related to the fourth victim of the Gilgo story?
Well, I think it means a lot to the task force because we know that it provides a small measure of closure for the families, so we're really happy to provide that for them. We know that there's a lot of hard work to go, that these are allegations, that we need to prove them, but it's nice to be able to let the families know that notwithstanding, a lot of the things that have been said, we've always focused the case in the right direction. We always kept the victims in mind, and we were able to obtain a result which we're pleased with.
And I just want to clarify, the grand jury which convened for the Gilgo fourth, the same one still actively investigating?
Correct.
Okay, and so in addition to the defense also tried to cast some doubt on some of the DNA evidence, but they also said something to the effect of just because an individual solicits prostitutes, it doesn't make them a killer. In regards to the new evidence of the burner phones, is there anything you'd like to share with that?
No, I think that's what trials are for, and we look forward to proving these allegations in court.
And can you speak just a little bit to Maureen Brainerd Barnes' specific circumstances? I know we've spoken about all 4 of the group. What specifically does your office know about the circumstances of her death so far?
Well, I mean, I think that the circumstances of all the 4 women are very similar. Their backgrounds are similar. Unfortunately, their deaths are very similar, and that's why we focused on the Gilgo 4. But it's what we're willing to disclose about that death is everything that we've talked about now, with regard to the utilization of the 4 separate burner phones to lure these women out to Massapequa Park, where they were unfortunately murdered. Sure. So, basically what is required to us of prosecutors is we have grand jury material, which is secret, and then we have stuff which is publicly disclosed. So we comment on information that's publicly disclosed. There are literally mountains of information that have not been publicly disclosed, but I'm ethically enjoined from speaking about those. So I can't speak about those, so I won't. That's it? Sure. Yeah. Oh. Hi, how are you?
Despicable. Here comes Gloria Allred. She's representing the victims of the Gilgo 4, I guess. She's going to speak.
Okay, you just heard the DA, Suffolk DA, right here speak on the 4th individual indicted on a new murder charge in the killing of the 4th woman, Maureen Brainerd Barnes. We're referring to Rex Heuermann. We're now going to hear from the attorney from the families.
psychopathy.
This is Gloria Allred at the podium speaking on behalf of the families.
Thuffer and Thuckatash. Gypsy Rose.
I'm Attorney Gloria Allred, and today I'm here at the Suffolk County, New York courthouse with 5 of my 6 clients who are relatives or a friend of alleged victims of defendant Rex Heuermann. Mr. Heuermann, as you heard, has been indicted on first and second degree murder charges against Melissa Bartholomew, second degree murder charges of Maureen Brainard Barnes, and first and second degree charges of Megan Waterman. I represent the family members of the alleged victims. Lynn Bartholomew is the mother of victim Melissa Bartholomew. Amanda Funderburg is the sister of Melissa Bartholomew. Nicolette Brainard Barnes is the daughter of Maureen Brainard Barnes. Melissa Kahn is the sister of Maureen Brainard Barnes. Sarah Carnes was the friend of Maureen Brainard Barnes. Elizabeth Meserve is the aunt of Megan Waterman and the legal guardian of Megan's daughter. Lynn Bartholomew was not able to be present today, but did try to get here and will be present in the future. They have asked me to represent them as their victims' rights attorney in this case, and I'm honored to support them. 39 years ago, I was contacted by a sex worker named Rhonda DaCosta in California. She performed that kind of work because she needed the money to support herself and her young child. She had met a man named Daniel Zabuski and agreed to provide him with oral sex for $30. But he wanted to rape her and sodomize her, and she alleged that she said no. But he did it anyway. Then he stole money from her. Zabuski was charged with rape, sodomy, and grand theft. Zabuski's criminal trial was held in Pasadena, California, in front of Judge Gilbert Alston. But before the jury could decide the case, the judge dismissed it. He stated to the Pasadena Star-News, quote, "The law was set up to protect good people, you, my wife, my daughters, my granddaughters. It doesn't protect a street-walking prostitute from a contract gone awry. This case shouldn't have been filed. A whore is a whore is a whore," end quote. It was at this point that Rhonda contacted me. I was appalled by the judge's comments. This case wasn't about contract, it was about rape and every woman's right to say no. Judge Alston had in effect declared open season on prostitutes. Rapists and those who beat and murder prostitutes could interpret this to mean that they now had a license to rape, beat, and kill because of the criminal justice system, which would not be there to protect prostitutes or give them access to justice. The judge seemed to be telling rapists that if they committed crimes of sexual violence against sex workers, that the law would protect the abuser by denying the victims access to the courts. Evidently, at that time, sex workers were not entitled to protection of the law from acts of rape and sodomy. I mention this case today because the suggestion from Judge Alston seemed to be that sex workers are not good people. That notion is dangerous to women's lives, whether or not they are sex workers. The courthouse door should never be shut to any woman who is victimized by gender violence. No man has a license to hurt, kill, or do anything else to a woman without her consent. And as I predicted 39 years ago, after the judge made his comments, Zabuski went on to rape, beat, and assault a number of other women. Finally, he was sentenced to a term of 80 years in prison in other cases after Rhonda. I was successful in filing a civil case against Zabusky for Rhonda over the objections of Zabusky's attorney, and a different judge allowed me to continue litigating the case for Rhonda. However, sadly, Rhonda passed away, and therefore we never went to a civil trial. The point of what happened to Rhonda is that failing to afford sex workers access to justice sends a message to men who victimize them that the victimizers may never face consequences for their wrongful and criminal acts. This is 2024. Will there be justice for women who just needed some money to help support their children or themselves? It is long overdue to provide justice for vulnerable women who are missing and murdered. It will be for the jury to decide if this defendant will be found guilty of the murder of Maureen, may she rest in peace, and the murder of other women for whom the defendant has been indicted. We look forward to a fair trial for the defendant and justice for Maureen. Next, I would like to introduce Nicolette Brainerd Barnes, who is the daughter of Maureen, and Nikki, as we call her, has never done an interview, and she will make a statement today. And she's very brave because this is heartbreaking for her. Nikki.
First, I'd like to thank law enforcement who have been dedicated to working on this case. I very much appreciate your efforts on behalf of these vulnerable victims. I'm here to speak for my mom, Maureen. I was only 7 years old when my mother was murdered. Her loss drastically changed the trajectory of my life. There are countless times I needed her and she was not there. I remember she read to me every night, and now I can no longer remember the sound of her voice. I wish she was here today, but she was taken from us. For years, it looked like there might not be charges filed against any suspect for the murder of my mother. While the loss of my mom has been extremely painful for me, the indictment by the grand jury has brought hope for justice for my mom and my family. I owe so much to my mom, and I know that she would want me to speak out for her in this process and let everyone know who she really was. Even though it was difficult for me, I'm doing this because I want her to be remembered as the loving mother that she was. Thank you.
Okay. The next speaker will be Melissa Kahn, and she is the sister of Maureen Brainerd Barnes.
Oh, you got it.
Would you like to identify the person standing next to you?
Oh, this is my husband, Christopher Can. Hello, my name is Melissa Can, and I am the proud sister of Maureen Brainerd Barnes. I would first like to thank the collective efforts of the Suffolk County DA's office, New York State Police, Suffolk County Sheriff's Office, the Gilgo Beach Task Force detectives, and the past detectives on this case. 13 years ago, Maureen was found murdered after she went missing for 3.5 years. Throughout these years, I had continued to hold on to hope that one day there would be justice for Maureen, and that whoever took Maureen's life would be held accountable. Today is another important chapter in the long pursuit of justice for Maureen. It has been 16 years since the last time I saw my sister, 16 years since I heard her voice, because 16 years ago, she was silenced. Losing Maureen has become a wound that never truly heals. It remains a part of me. Maureen was a mother of 2 amazing children, and they will forever be without their mother. Sorry. Maureen was my older sister who was always there for me when I needed her. Maureen was inspired to be a writer, and she loved reading books. She was only 25 years old. She had her whole life ahead of her. Maureen would never get the chance to show the world how talented she was. And my family will never get the chance to know who Maureen would be today, because her life was tragically taken. Throughout these 13 years, my family has painstakingly endured Maureen being judged and marginalized. Maureen was more than how she has been portrayed. She was first and foremost a loving mother, a caring sister, and a giving friend. With the loss of Maureen, unimaginable pain and panic, my life shattered with the confirmation of Maureen's death. Due to the experience of my sister going missing and being found murdered, I would suffer from PTSD. I would overthink every situation I deemed a threat because the worst possible thing in my life has happened. I became guarded. I overprotected the ones I loved around me because I knew firsthand that evil exists in this world. I want to ask everyone to please remember the victims: Maureen, Megan, Melissa, and Amber. I hope that everyone will also remember the other victims from whom charges has not been filed against any suspect. These victims had families. They were human beings with aspirations and hope for a better future for themselves. They have families who love and miss them. Maureen, Melissa, Megan, and Amber are no longer here to speak for themselves, and I am glad the family members of other victims are continue to speak out for their loved ones, and I support them because they know their loved ones best, and they miss them more than anyone will ever know. Thank you.
Thank you. Melissa and Nikki are not going to be taking questions today. However, if you have a few questions for me, I'll be happy to answer them. If you would like a copy of their statements and mine, I have a few copies here, but you can also email me, and most of you have my email.
Okay, that's Gloria Allred.
One
She
last
is
thing
the
before I
attorney
take a few
for the
questions. We
families.
have a photo.
You just heard
I
from
could
Maureen
email
Brainard Barnes' family. You heard
Why are
from
they talking
her
over her?
daughter. You
have
heard
it
from
here
her
in
sister.
black and
Some of the
white.
words that echoed
Shows Maureen.
in the press conference.
with-
Her daughter, specifically Nikki, said this was the first time she was speaking to the media. This happened when she was 7 years old when this happened. So she's saying that this grand jury is hope and justice for the family, along with the others who are dealing with this. And just to recap what happened earlier here, if you're just joining us, Rex Heuermann was indicted on a new murder charge in the killing of a fourth woman. That's Maureen Brainard Barnes. Now, investigators believe was the...
Are they going to go back to it? The heck? Nope, they ended it right there. That's where they ended it.
box.
All right, that is it. That is all they're going to show us, I guess. Hold on. I'm going to actually have to replay this because they talked about a lot of evidence that they found. And I agree with you guys. I think they're just getting started on arrests as well. And I don't know why they talked over her and then cut Gloria off. Like, what the heck? Let's see if we can find it somewhere else. That was the only place showing it, too. It was weird. Like, I don't see it anywhere else. Let's see. The Independent is live. Hold on. Oh, let's see if we can rewind and catch the end of Gloria. They didn't even show Gloria. See, look at, they were outside and then they had to move inside. And then they didn't even show
stuff which is
the freaking families. What the heck?
But he did it anyway. Then he stole money from her. Zabusky was charged with rape, sodomy.
Okay, that's what we already saw. Yeah, it's not out there, guys. That's it. That be it. That is our Rex Heuermann update for today. Let's see here. Just want to see if there's any other information out there. Other than, just to recap, he was charged with second-degree murder of Maureen. And he pled not guilty. So let's read this really quick. So in July, they called him the prime suspect, and then they did all of this DNA. So it was pending DNA results on hair, and the grand jury continued its work. Mr. Heuermann was in court Tuesday morning with his hands shackled behind his back. He remained silent and maintained a calm demeanor. Mr. Heuermann pled not guilty, as he has to all previous charges. The DNA tests showed that the hair had belonged to Mr. Heuermann's wife, Asa, prosecutors say, and was likely tracked to the crime scene by Mr. Heuermann. Prosecutors say Miss Ellerup, who has not been charged in the Gilgo Beach case, was out of town during the disappearances of the women, whom they say Mr. Heuermann hired as escorts and then killed. Court papers filed on Tuesday added details that would strengthen the prosecutor's claims that DNA evidence connected Mr. Heuermann to all four victims, and that he was trying to cover his tracks by using software to erase online interactions with the escorts. Investigators say he made numerous calls and texts to Miss Brainerd Barnes just before her disappearance, and they also have records of damning internet searches, as well as mobile phone location data corresponding to his home in Massapequa Park and his architectural consulting office in Midtown Manhattan. The DNA evidence connecting him to the murders includes several stray hairs found on the bodies belonging to Ms. Ellerup and a male hair that corresponds to a genetic sample taken from the pizza crusts from Rex Heuermann. Investigators say Miss Brainerd Barnes' remains, likely the most decomposed of the four, were bound by 3 belts. 3. So if the DNA evidence, this is my question. If the DNA evidence connects Rex Heuermann, why doesn't it connect Asa? She went to New Jersey. She went to New Jersey and apparently to Greenland, where she's from. And Greenland is speaking back at Miss Ellerup, and there's a volcano erupting in Greenland because they don't want her back. That's my conclusion. Have you guys seen the volcano in Greenland? I'm like, I can't help but think of Asa. Of Asa. I think it's Greenland. Yeah, it is. Houses are on fire and shiz. Look at this, 2 days ago. Check this out. This is Asa Ellerup's home country. But I mean, we heard the story. This is what really gets me, is we heard the story of Asa going to these sex parties with Rex, and that they actually brought back one of the females to the house. What do you mean a W is a W? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Oh, Greenland is Iceland. Well, there's a volcano going on there, and I firmly believe that they're protesting Asa Ellerup. This would be her home country protesting that she's from there. Yeah, I don't dig that I don't trust her. I don't trust her at all. And I would like to know what the proof is of her alibis. And then furthermore, the daughter. So Asa went out of town. Did the daughter go out of town as well? Or was she still home? Because she worked with Dad. And we know that Dad did some of this stuff from his work. So I wish that they were on Asa's ass. Because I think Asa has got a lot of knowledge. Will Asa be a witness? Will she have to testify? Who's going to be on their witness list? Asa Ellerup with her A&E special. And what's she FedExing? Listen to this.
Alleged Gilgo Beach serial killer matched her DNA material found on the remains of some of the victims. Investigators took a cheek swab from Asa Ellerup the night her husband Rex Heuermann was arrested in July. Now, they say that her hair was found on the burlap in which victims were found wrapped in. Prosecutors have cleared her of any wrongdoing and said that she was out of town at the time of the murder.
That's it. She was out of town. They know when the girls were missing, and they know when he contacted them about the meeting up with them. They know when those things took place because of his phone and his computer. Thank you, K Smalls. K Smalls, it's so good to see you. I hope you're doing well, honey. Happy New Year. K Smalls, I've known you since I've came to YouTube. Everybody give K Smalls some love. You looking gorgeous as ever. So yeah, K Smalls and I have known each other, going on, this is our 6th year. Crazy town. But loving seeing you. They believe it's all Rex. Yeah, Stacy, I don't know why. Katie says, I swear her and Heuermann are sus. Her house caught on fire. Only she survived and Rex built it. I never heard that one. Thank you, Sirius Black, for being here. Beautiful kitty. Beautiful putty.
Psychopathy.
All right. We're going to end today's live on that note. Thank you for joining. I will be updating you guys as I get updates on the ferret. And we also have tomorrow, we have real lawyer Dimitri D-Shack Law coming on with me to talk about this PCA business with Idaho 4. We have Richard Allen and Lori Vallow in court on Thursday. And then Thursday night, I have a special Thursday night live for everybody. We're going to do a watch along of Sarah Boone, the suitcase murder interrogation. Her interrogation's roughly 2 hours long, and we're going to watch that together. So Thursday night, we have a huge week. And then Friday, we have tons of updates on just some random cases and some things that I found. UFOs, jellyfish UFOs, and an unsolved cold case after 34 years that reminds me a lot of the Summer Wells case. And we're going to dive into that one. So we have a great week ahead. If you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting that little notification bell. And we're going to run our credits. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye, K Smalls, and bye, Green Eyed PI. Good to see y'all. Let's run our credits. Thank you, you good people, for all of your support. I'll see you in the next one.
Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun, old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together.
Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists for more true crime content. And if that's not enough, you can join our Patreon. Don't have a tinfoil hat? It's okay. We'll make you one. It's that easy. See you guys in the next video.
See you later. Bye.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone, I feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time.
Bye, Jennifer.